Good, beautiful morning, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. It is a beautiful, brand new day on planet Earth. First of all, I want to say congratulations to everybody that did not go into panic mode about the earthquake in Russia. This is a normal, natural phenomenon of Gaia releasing pressure from her physical body. Just the same way as you need to de-stress once in a while, so does the consciousness of the planet go through a corresponding version of releasing tension from itself. And we all need to learn to do that. We all need to learn how to release long held tensions in our body, old emotions, if you like. We store them in our bodies. We store our experiences in our body, generally as thoughts combined with specific emotions and memorized experiences. So don't get your knickers into a knot because Gaia has just released a whole bunch of unnecessary energy. She doesn't need to carry it anymore. It's going to give a lot of benefits to humanity for a while. And it's really wonderful to see that kind of pressure release from the planet. Today, I have with me a group called the Ascended who want to bring to our attention, where does the path of love begin or start? Where does the path of love you think is going to start for you? If you've been through intense trauma, if you're going through anxiety, if you're going through nervousness or excitement even, have you ever considered where the path of love starts? A lot of people are struggling on the planet right now, emotionally and mentally, not because they want to, but because they don't know where the path of love starts. They're stuck in the path of fear. And I found it really exciting when they said, William, it's really important. The simplest first step that anyone can discover, anyone. It does not matter how loud and noisy and crowded your mind seems to be. There is a simple first step that will, if you take the step correctly, result in the beginning of your journey of returning yourself to love. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I was raised in a very difficult environment. And as a result, I did not get a very good foundation of what love is. My foundation at love meant how you hurt other people. Love meant being taken advantage of. Love meant you ignored and neglected each other. So that was the version of love I was raised with. And many people, if you look in some of the bigger cities now, there's a lot of people that are not feeling much love because they're in pain. They're disconnected from love. And so when they came in and said, it doesn't matter who they are, William. So it doesn't matter who you are, what you've gone through, what you're going through right now. There's one simple step. And if you're willing to take it correctly and you're willing to take it now, you're going to find that the journey towards love will begin, or it might become more obvious to you. And here it is. It's really simple. This is what I love about these guys. They're always very simple when they give me information. And the first step towards love for anybody, even if your mind is screaming at you all the time, the first step back towards love is your breath. If you choose to take a breath, that is, you tell your body to breathe. You immediately put the body into the position, and you simultaneously put your mind into the position where it is required to follow your instructions. And as simplistic as this sounds, we want you to try this right now. The moment you tell your body to breathe, you are now in charge and authority over the body via its breath. And then you use the breath to direct the body, because you're now controlling the body's breath by directing it to breathe. So you breathe it slow, you draw the breath in slowly, you fill the lungs up slowly, but completely. This breath coming in slow is important because it gently keeps you in the position of directing the body instead of being subjective to it. The moment you take that breath slowly and deeply, and you keep filling the lungs completely, you are in charge of the body, which gives you neurological access to what your brain is going to do in relation to your body. That is to say, but be breathing slowly and deliberately like that. You're also telling the neurological system, just by breathing slowly and deeply in, filling your lungs completely, and exhaling slowly. You're telling not only the body that you're in charge and you will direct it, but your nervous system, your thinking mind, gets a message from your body to slow down. And so you might find you can accentuate the breath in such a way that you can slow your mind down to stillness. Now, the question you might have, how is this then the pathway or the first step towards love? You see, many of you are referring to yourself according to the thoughts, the memories, and the emotions that you have in your mind. Many of you evaluate and view yourself through the lens of what you've been taught to think and taught to feel and taught to believe by the influence of the environment around you. And so when you take this action of breathing the body, directing the body to breathe slowly in and slowly out, you are directing the system. Now you are directing the system the way the system has been directed by others. And once you start to assume this authority over the mind and over the body through the breath, it begins to calm. The slower and deeper you breathe, the quieter and calmer the mind will become. All you need to do, if the mind gets active and busy, is breathe into your mind. You breathe your breath into your mind. And when you exhale, you release all the thoughts from your mind with your breath. And that will also send another message to the body to become quieter. And so now you create this feedback loop between you, your mind, and body, that it is to become slow, calm, quiet, and peaceful. When you move from a conflicted mind, from a busy mind, when you move your awareness, bring your mind and body to a still and quiet place, you are now putting your feet onto the path of love. And what is that love? We have maintained, since we've been speaking through this one, that you are love. It is not something to be acquired from the world. It is something that you are fundamentally. You are love. It's not something you get, it's something you already are. But if you have a mind that is too busy, emotions that are conflicting, a body that is nervous, then you are caught up in that. And so you cannot know love if you do not know peace. And so restoring your body and your mind to stillness by taking the authority over the breathing of the body, you begin to coordinate your mind and body under your jurisdiction instead of the jurisdiction of the environment. You want to take the jurisdiction of your mind and body back to you and away from the environment. When you continue to breathe slowly and deeply, and you are clear on your intention that you want the body and you want the mind to be still, you don't have to fight it or force it. The mere act of slow and deliberate breathing will break the pattern of the mind's incessant chatter. As you slow the breath down more and more, you begin to replicate the condition of what you would call sleep. By breathing the body slowly and deeply, you replicate in the body the chemical state that represents sleep, in which case the brain begins to alter in its functioning and begins to produce a different structure of thought. In fact, the structure of thought begins to diminish quite rapidly the slower and the deeper you breathe. Remember now, with your breath under your direction, you are the coordinator now of the body through its breath and the mind through the breath. Slow, deliberate, deep breathing as an act of your own free will induces this change of function into your body. So I'm laughing because the being that's with me, name is not Alexander. He's just laughing and jumping around. It's quite funny because he knows how exciting this journey can be for you if you take these couple of steps. Right. This is the first step, the breath. Yes. The joy and excitement that will begin to emerge the moment you, as the soul, hearing these words, as the awareness, recognizing what we're saying to you, and you apply what we're saying and gain an experience from it, then you move towards your function of freedom. The slower and deeper the breath, the calmer and quieter the mind and the body become. The quieter and calmer you direct your mind and body to become, the less interference there is between yourself and what you are, which is love. As your mind gets quieter, calmer, and more peaceful, you begin to feel more of what you actually are and not what you've been taught to believe that you are supposed to think you are. Because many of you are acting and thinking according to what others have told you you should or should not be, should or should not think, should or should not say or do. So when you get your mind and your body into a place where it is not distracting and disturbing you, you begin to connect to what you really are. And you are in reality a function of love. That is the reality of what you are. Your mind and body need to be retrained by you into that function. But this is the first step. Recognizing that through an act of your own deliberate volition, you can direct the body by utilizing its breath and inducing your body into a state that resembles sleep. That simultaneously induces the mind into a quieter, calmer, and more peaceful function of being, because biologically and neurochemically, the mind and body are inseparable. And what you do to one, you do to the other. And so you might begin your breathing process, and if you jump to evaluating all your thoughts, you can be counterproductive and slow the process down. But if you stay persistent with the slow, full, and complete breath, that is, you draw the breath in and fill the lungs completely. And then slowly, gently, deliberately release the breath. Allow the body's breath to be released, which, of course, releases any tensions that might be in the body. Whenever you exhale, that automatically happens. And you continue slow and deliberate breath upon the body. You're directing the body with the breath. And you'll notice after a few applications, the mind will begin to calm if you are persistent in keeping the body's breath slow, slower, and slowest. The slower you regulate the body's breath, the sooner you put the body and mind into a state that will resemble sleep, in which case you begin to experience yourself as not your thoughts, not your emotions, not your body. You get to experience yourself as being aware. You will still know that you have a body. You will still be aware that there are thoughts in that body, but you will recognize by taking this first step. This is where the path of love starts. And by taking these steps, you begin to gain a functional experience of being not your mind and not your body, so that you can begin to reconnect to the essence of what you are, which is, of course, that you are fundamentally a manifestation of love. And everything that's been given to your mind, you've learned in this world, may or may not be in alignment with that function of who you are. For a large percentage of humans right now, many of you are caught up in fear and uncertainty. Look at your exciting events last night. You see your great mother, how she shakes off energy she no longer needs in such a way as to minimize the potential harm to you. The mother loves you. This wonderful earth loves you. So she discharges energy that she's collected from you in a way that does little or no harm. And yet many of you are in panic and fear about what is she doing. You don't need panic and you don't need fear. If you understand that you are a function of love, you will have no more fear. And so the function of your breath, slowly and deliberately, you begin to realign your mind and body to you. You already know, many of you, that you are not your thoughts. It's simply information you've acquired from this dimension. Some of you might even know that you are not a body, but you have a body. And some of you might even consider the possibility that you are a sentient being that inhabits that body for the purpose of creation. But we simply wanted to come to you today to articulate where the start of love is in your consciousness. And it begins with the breath. It will always begin with the breath. Your life in this world began with the breath. Your life in this world will end with the breath. And everything in between the start and the finish is the breath. When you learn to leverage your capacity to direct the functions of the breath, you'll reclaim the authority and autonomy over your thinking mind that the world has taken from you. The world has taken your mind from you. It tells you to think this, believe this, fear this, know this, do this. It tells you many of these things, even as we are telling you, and you will still, we will say, have to sort it out. You will still indeed have to take certain actions and discern what is true and what is false for you. Even if you are extremely anxious right now or incredibly depressed, the moment you begin to assume authority over the breath, you begin to change the function of energy in the body, regardless of what the nature and quality of the emotion is. If you are deliberate, patient, and meticulous in the slow and deep breath, and you slow it down, you will feel the depression, the anxiety, the nervousness, whatever shade of energy that is unpleasant will begin to shift and change, because the mere act of assuming authority over your physical breath is also an assertion of that authority over the thinking mind and the emotional body. And you all have this authority and you all have this capacity to do this, to be the function of love that you were intended to be. We only came here to articulate where the path of love starts. And if you take that first step correctly, and you are patient with your mind and body that are used to being what they are, and if you're patient with them and say, oh, it's too noisy, I'm going to slow my breath down, I'm going to let the body relax more. As you sustain and maintain the conscious direction you give to the breath, you will gently guide your mind and body into a place of stillness, where you can then reflect on yourself as the divine consciousness that you truly are. Much of what people have been given to harbor in their minds does not reflect your divinity. Much of what you believe has not been given to you to reflect love and kindness and goodness and respect. Much of what many have been taught has been based in fear and uncertainty. And so the pathway to love is the liberation from all of your fear. And in order to do that, you must take the first step and practice it thoroughly and deliberately. Think of this as a form of spiritual kung fu, where you have to teach the mind and body to be a function different than the world has taught it to function. But remember, the moment you take authority over your breath, the moment you take authority over your breath, you begin the process of taking authority over the mind, over your emotions, and ultimately over your life. The world around you begins to change when you begin to alter and change the function of your being. And that happens the moment you take that first breath, the moment you turn to the body and say, breathe. And you do so slowly and gently because your mind and body, for some of you, may not have been taught this at all. And you might believe that your mind, you have no control or authority over it. And you might believe that you cannot change what's going on in your body, but we can assure you that this is the starting point. The act of the breath becomes the first step towards your restoration to your true nature, which is love. I love this, Alexander. He's just beautiful. Thank you so much for coming in today. I really appreciate this. His playful energy. I would love for you to feel it the way I feel it. It's if I had a bunch of giggling people around me, it'd be kind of like that, all giggling joyfully and playfully together. It's kind of like that kind of energy. That's the best I can describe it. And I've never experienced Alexander before today, so I'm really grateful. So thank you, Alexander. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Good morning. Hi, everybody. We'll have a few minutes for questions and answers. Hello, TikTok. How you doing? Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the share. I want to say to everybody on TikTok, thank you so much for your support. You surprise me every time. You know, some of your questions and some of your considerations and some of your concerns are remarkable, and you stimulate so much information for us when you ask questions. So I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions on what you think about this idea that your breath is the starting point for your return to love. Let me know what you think about that. Do you believe that? That you think that love is the breath is the starting point for the restoration of love? Uh, Question. I have hit a financial stumbling stone. Can I please have a much needed message? Yes, the feeling you have around what you call the stone, roll the stone out of the way. Put the feeling aside. If that feeling is put aside, what do you feel? Because it's not about the financial consideration in the world, that is the effect, but the vibrational state of that stone in your way. What is that emotional stone? And what would happen if you gently put that stone aside? What would be there? What would you feel? Consider this. If this emotion was not in this situation, what would the situation be for you right now? Consider this carefully and deliberately. If that feeling was just rolled off to one side, out of the way, where would you go? What would you do? And what will unfold? Put the emotional stone aside. Roll it to one side. And recognize what is there instead of that when you move it aside. We're very curious to hear what you have to say about that. That if you roll that stone aside, what is there when that stone is not there? And the moment you recognize what is there when the stone is not there, and then what is recognized will come to the forefront of your experience. But until you see it, you cannot be it. Mm, well, needing is one thing. She says, I need a job. Um, would you not want a job as opposed to needing a job? What would you desire to do? What would give your heart joy to do, to be, to think? Consider ideas are functions of creation. Yes, you will have that job, but you must define the job that is in alignment with you. What do you love to do? And then you will know your job very quickly. Will help you. Wonderful. Hi. What do I think about isolation? Well, I think isolation has benefits if you are on a particular path. If you're isolating because you're highly empathic, because there's a lot of empaths on the planet right now, more than there's ever been in the last 2,000 years. And the sensitivity to other people's thoughts and emotions can be very high. Yet there's a very simple practice I want to give you right now. Anybody can use this practice. I was taught this practice by my guides and angels, and I want to share it with you. And it's a simple way so that when you go out in public, you will not feel and pick up the emotions and thoughts of other people, because a lot of empaths feel emotions and thoughts of other people and interpret it as their own, right? Oh, you're very welcome, Drusilla. And so here's what you do. Before you go outside the door, before you go anywhere, sit down in a chair, take a slow, deep breath, relax your body, and then imagine that your body is surrounded by a bright white sphere of light. And keep your awareness in the consciousness until you can feel that that sphere is actually around you. Even if it's only in your imagination, but you could imagine that sphere is all around you, this white sphere that you can see through and people can see you through, but you've got your imagination at that point where you can feel that whole thing around you, above your head, below your feet. You're surrounded in this white sphere. Once you feel or imagine that that white sphere is all around you, think and speak these words into the space of the sphere. And remember these words, write them down. Only love may enter this space. Only love may leave this space. And repeat that as you feel the imagined sphere around your body. Only love can enter this space. Only love can leave this space. And do that for about 2 minutes. And then go outside and watch the difference in what you experience in the world around you. Because when you construct an energy function like that, it's like getting a filtration system for your oil. The filtration system for your oil in your car filters things out of the oil that aren't necessary for the engines. Why they put filters in gas and oil filters in cars. So you're putting this energetic filter that only love may enter this space, only love may leave this space. And you go deeply into the feeling. And just going into the feeling of that, you'll feel your energy change. Just doing that for a minute, you'll feel your energy change. And then you go out into the world, and at any time while you're out there, you can just reinforce it. Only love enters this space. Only love leaves this space. And you'll notice a significant difference in your feelings of isolation, because you won't feel so sensitive to what other people are putting at you, because you literally put a filter in place, an energetic filter. And please do that. Let us know. Leave a comment in one of my videos on my YouTube channel below this video, which is, I believe, let's see what it got called here. It's where does the path of love start? On my YouTube channel, you go to my YouTube channel and you can find the video under the live sections. Where does the path of love start? And write your comment about what happened to you when you did that activity. Or if you want, send me a message on TikTok and let me know what you experienced. Yes, if you want to book a reading with me, you can go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and you can book a 1 hour, half-hour reading with me. You can also get one-on-one private coaching. And again, you'll see all the skills and gifts that you can learn and acquire buy some time healing, learning, growing, evolving out of the old self. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Vertical's asking, hello, Jacqueline, long time no see. You're very welcome. Vertical Connections asking, moving in November and looking for a place to buy now. The one at the outskirts of town is a good one. Would the guides agree? They already did. That's why you found it. They were pushing you in that direction. Why am I having issues understanding Yukasatwar, Yogananda's guru? He doesn't come to a lot of people. And when he does, he usually does it through Yogananda. It's not about having difficulty understanding him. Generally, Yogananda is the new representative of that lineage of teachers and mentors, because each master embodies the essence of the masters that come before them. And so it's not that you have difficulty comprehending or understanding Yukasatar, it's Yogananda that you want to connect to, because he is an embodiment of Yukatar as well as himself, as well as Christ, as well as Buddha's many other masters that he's learned from. Babaji's another one as well. Hi. Hi there. Hi. Oh, you're very, very welcome. A lot of people don't like can do that. You have a blessed day too, and enjoy your work day. Hi. Yeah, breath is a catalyst for love. Hi, everybody. That's I think our message today, everybody. I'm really grateful we had the opportunity to join. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys on the Friday edition of Shortcuts to Your Soul. And why don't we do a healing event on Friday? Let's do a healing event on Friday live. Just a short one. We'll just do like a short healing meditation. If you want to do that, come and join me Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, there are three beings that will come and join us. Archangel Michael, Master Jesus, and Archangel Raphael will be present with us on Friday for that purpose of that function of a little bit of healing, just a little bit of healing, right? Thank you for your support of this channel, YouTube subscribers, TikTok followers. Remember to like, share, and have a wonderful and a joyful day. And again, I will see you guys on Friday. Oh, you're very welcome, Amanda. We'll see you on Friday as well. Have yourselves a wonderful and a joyful day, everybody. Bye for now.